Good morning. It is January 21st. This is Bev. You're listening to a little segment of the Bev D Show. Let's see here. We have Tuesday ahead of us. So, second day of the week. Treat it like the first. However you look at your work week, get a good start to thinking good thoughts and making some plans. I'm a sales trainer, and recently I was asking the people in the group, what are your goals? How many calls do you need to make? How much money you want to make in a year? What does your commissions, what are your sales equal in commissions? And I was pretty shocked at they didn't really have answers. Nothing against them, no judgment there. It's just, it taught me a lot. I'm always learning. ABA, always be asking. ABL, always be learning. Always be listening for cues and things like that are out in the universe for us. And, it led me into I'm always doing self-exploration on, determining what I could be doing better. And, I'm not perfect. I have a lot of faults. And one of them is, I got some bad habits in my life. Routines. I work really hard during the day. And when I come home, I love to cook and relax and watch TV and hang out with Tim. And I lead a very simple life. But there's productivity and things that I could be doing in the evening for the show, for my books and things like that. So I got a really bad habit that most people would say, well, that's not really a bad habit. But it is if I have time and I'm not applying it to my goals. And I was thinking about it yesterday. That we have good habits. And we have bad habits. And why is it so hard to change or break a bad habit? And something you may not know about me is that I've experienced, as many of you, a lot of death in my life. I've lost 2 brothers way too soon. And it was shocking. And a sister-in-law, because they were all within a few years of each other, and it was bada bing, bada boom, gee whiz. And for different reasons, they passed away. I mean, nobody gets out alive here. So I started thinking about those habits and the goals that I've set, and that's why when I was listening to the class and they really didn't have any goals and they really didn't know which way they were going to be going, they just knew that their job was to, sell. And that's how they felt about it. And I said, well, wake up. Because if you don't know what it takes to feed your house, feed your family, I should say, kind of feed your house, do you have some decorating that you want to do, some renovating? Do you have vacations that you want to go on? Do you have a new car that you need? How do you plan and cipher out money for those particular types of budgets if you don't have a plan? So I'm making a commitment to the universe that I'm going to officially make a plan, and then I'm going to work that plan. And that's very biblical. There's a lot of talk of that in the Bible that, we're temples, and whether you believe in God or you have your own beliefs, or even if your life is dedicated to the universe, you have a responsibility. You're a walking temple of doing good things or right things or for others or starting with you. And that starts with some structured habits and good ones and commitments. Setting up appointments for yourself. This is what I'm going to do at this time of day. Maybe, I listen to people every day talk about working out. They're changing their eating habits in the office and things like that, but they've scheduled at a certain time and they work out 3 times a week. and it's at 6 o'clock at night, and they don't miss that. They don't miss that appointment with themselves to try and get themselves to be a better temple. So I just wanted to come on real quick because I'm running behind. I had some technical difficulties, and I just kind of wanted to make this commitment to you all, is that I'm going to be writing a plan, and listen, I've written this plan. I can find this plan. I've written it so many times. And it's a voice that is constantly haunting me, and it taps on my shoulder and interrupts me and says, "Why aren't you doing this right now? Why are you doing something else, anything else other than getting you to, get your written word out there to the masses and at least produce the product to be able to do so." So I wanted to do just that. A lot of times when people want to do something, they have to tell someone else so that they have that other human structure to say, this is what I'm going to do and this is how I'm going to do it. I remember many, 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 many years ago when I quit smoking, and I told no one, but I wrote a contract to myself. So this is my verbal contract to myself, saying that I'm going to start doing these things in forward motion so that I can finish my books. I am a self-published author, and I can do it again. And I can get these books written, created, and all prettied up and printed up and, get them out there. If I sell one book and someone, writes back to me, and as people have, from the others, and they tell me, hey, I enjoyed reading your book and it made a difference. That's all I want. Honestly, you guys, that's all I want, is to make one tiny little significant difference to help someone, to the universe, just to put that energy out there. I'm not conceited, or I don't think that much of myself, but I do get responses from people, texts, private messages, emails. And I want to thank you guys. I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for giving me a chance, for your ears to take out time to listen, process, and maybe together we can make a plan and fulfill those plans and follow that process. I train all the time on falling in love with the process. It's not just the sale. It's not getting to the sale. Yeah, that's an adrenaline rush that equates to very few things. And as salespeople, we're pretty special. But prior to the sale, it is more about that process. How many calls am I going to make? Who am I going to talk to? What type of businesses? What will I have a conversation? Visualize yourself having those business conversations. And from that, if you do that enough, then you can't help it but sell. So if you're not enjoying the process of calling and talking to business owners and seeing how you can help them in their business, whatever you may be selling, you need to find new work, because it's a waste of time. And again, nobody gets out alive. And I'm often the quote from Shawshank Redemption is, you get busy living or you get busy dying. And I'm committed to getting busy living, because I look back on what I've done, and I'm going to be 6 decades old, and I look back on what I've done, and one of the things I've done in my life is talk to thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of business owners over the years, and I can think of different things that I sold them. I can think of the different products and services I used to represent, but the one thing I enjoyed the most was talking to them, learning about the different types of businesses and how they operate, and everything from bakery, auto service, auto sales, doctors, dentists, attorneys, insurance, realtors. Throughout the years, I've talked to all of them, at least one of them. And I'm happy about that process. And I'm happy that I can bring some of those experiences to people I talk to on a daily basis. So I leave you with this, or excuse me for that. Let's commit. Let's make a commitment to making a plan, creating our process, and following it. And always remember, when you got a choice, you lead with love or lead with fear. Sometimes you're afraid, but lead with love. And if you're afraid to do something for the greater good, go ahead and do it anyway. We call that courage. You might be afraid to see what happens, but think of when you come out on the other side and you can actually say, hey, I did it. So this is Bev. This is a little segment of the Bev D Show. And I thank you for listening. Have a great day. Bye.